Say what is going on, guys? I'm Spawntrap, back with another video for the fans. And that intro did sound a little bit like something that Tensor would say, but I've watched so much Tensor stuff lately, it's almost hard to not just rip off his intro. But I am happy to say that I do have the background music in, and that documentary's gonna be done. I'm gonna be uploading a trailer for it, a 30-second trailer tomorrow. But like I said in the last video, we will not be able to have the actual documentary up until Tensor hits 100K. Today's gameplay is coming from Simple Talent, the pub stomping team that I'm a part of. This gameplay is from ST Leech. Anyways, what we are talking about today is something that had been on my mind prior to yesterday's drama. And when I say yesterday's drama, I'm talking about eRa ending. So I went to bed yesterday night having heard that eRa ended, got confirmation that that did in fact happen. It seemed to me, from the low level understanding that I have, that there was some sort of rift between the leaders that led to this happening, this conflict that eRa had. Now Spacebound ended just a week ago, so if you really do think about that, 2 of my 10 teams that are going to be in my Evolution of Sniping Documentary both have ended in the last week, which is obviously terrible if you are a fan of either of those teams. If you're me and you're making the documentary, it does add a little bit more drama, and anytime you can have that drama, I think it does make it be a little bit more interesting. But to me, it's sad to see quality teams going down the drain, which the reason why I was originally going to do this video prior to the drama was because it had occurred to me when I looked up these statistics for the Evolution of Sniping Documentary. I have them on the screen right now. Now, these statistics are last week's statistics, so this is prior to eRa ending and prior to Spacebound ending. Look at the statistics. Look at how far SoaR is behind FaZe in subscribers, in views. And if you look at that, it feels to me like SoaR is bound to always be second best. And honestly, if everybody on SoaR just has a lifelong goal to get into FaZe, which is the way a lot of people from the outside do look at it. Now, there are people who have, stuck it out in SoaR quite a while. I think Mac, the leader, would be a good example of someone who has just stuck it out in SoaR. But if he was given the opportunity to go to a higher team, maybe he has been, I'm just not aware of it. Do you think he would do it? I think that he's, attached enough to SoaR where he maybe wouldn't. But there are so many other people who, if they were, in SoaR and they were given the opportunity to join FaZe, Tensor, for example, is an obvious one. He would do it. He would jump on the opportunity. He would even fake clips to do it. These guys in SoaR just want in the worst way to join FaZe, and if the high-level talent in SoaR is constantly leaving to go to FaZe, you can't draw in those views, you can't draw in those big numbers, and you simply can't catch up. And if you saw the gap in the numbers, SoaR is so far behind. Really, the only people they're competing against is maybe Obey. Obey is just crushing Darth in the subscriber count as well. So you know that the gaps are there. The gaps are huge. And when the gaps are like that, you have to imagine that if you're one of the smaller teams, it has to just be discouraging. Totally discouraging to try and compete with that. It has to be so hard to find motivation to do that. And people all over the place obviously start up their own sniping teams, just out of their basement with an idea, of a couple friends and a cool name to put to it. And they, want to be up there, but it seems so far away, because if you even get close to getting up there, let's say you make SoaR because, you're doing a good job with your personal clan, you'll just end up keeping, working your way up the ladder. And it seems like this whole feeder system that we have is causing this, I guess, chaos where FaZe has just became the single dominant force. And I can't say I have too much of a problem with that if all the good people end up on one team, because that's kind of created the dream team of FaZe and Red, having all these super talented people. And to me, I don't think that's the worst case scenario. Now, to come back to the eRa topic, Pat and Lethal are 2 of the leaders as far as I know, and they're the 2 that were, in the bigger part of the conflict. Now, I want to mention that after the FaZe documentary came out, it was Pat actually that followed me on Twitter. 2 other eRa leaders followed me. I do not remember if Lethal's was one of them, but Pat followed me and he actually asked me for a DM. We got in the DM, and basically Pat wanted to know if he could get a copy of the FaZe movie to upload on his personal channel. So it was not his eRa Pat channel, which I thought was kind of strange. Now, I knew his eRa channel only had a few thousand subscribers. It wouldn't probably be much help to me in promoting the video. Well, the channel that he linked to me that he also owned was a channel that had a FaZe logo. It did not seem to be an official FaZe channel, but it had a FaZe logo. I don't even remember what it was even called. It had a few 100,000 subscribers, but the subscriber base seemed rather inactive to me. It led me to believe that either they, just simply were inactive because the channel was old or had been sub-botted. But nonetheless, I never had the intention of letting anybody else ever upload the FaZe movie to begin with, let alone someone from eRa. It seemed to me very weird that he would, want to upload something that was FaZe involved when he himself was from eRa. Nonetheless, I turned him down on the offer, as I would have probably turned down many other people. Anyways, guys, feel free to weigh in the comment section what you think of all these teams ending as of late. It's pretty disappointing to me personally, but I have my last 2 videos on the screen if you guys want to check those out. Otherwise, I will see you in tomorrow's video with the Tensor trailer.